The content you're about to enjoy comes from the archives of The Best You. We're devoted to the very best in personal development, with a magazine and resources dedicated to inspiring and changing people's lives. At The Best You, we work with the world's leading writers and trainers on the evolution of the self, and people whose journeys have been affected by their work and words. For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co. Hi everyone, it's Bernardo here, founder of The Best You, author of The Question. And today, for Inspiring People, I'm delighted to interview who's become a really good friend, someone who's very close and someone who's very helpful and has been for a long time, and he's been doing what he's been doing. And that's Dr. Fabrizio Mancini. Hey, Dr. Fabrizio, how are you?
I'm doing great, Bernardo. It's so great to see you again.
Thank you so much. So let me do a very quick introduction, because this man's done a lot of things. He's America's #1 healthy living media expert and world-renowned chiropractor, Hay House International best-selling author of The Power of Self-Healing and host of his popular radio show, Self-Healing with Dr. Fab. He is Fab in many different ways. He's also the best-selling author of The Chicken Soup for the Chiropractic Soul, an internationally acclaimed dedicated business leader, speaker, consultant, and president of the Emeritus of Parker University. He has been featured on the Dr. Phil, The Doctors, Fox News, CNN, CBS, ABC, NBC, Univision, Telemundo, and others. He has been interviewed in various documentaries and has received honors including Heroes for Humanity, a Humanitarian of the Year, and CEO of the Year. An induction into the Wellness Revolutionary Hall of Fame. Dr. Mancini is also a graduate of the prestigious Institute of the Educational Management in the Graduate School of Education at Harvard University. Most recently, the president of Mexico named the library at Univis, Mexico, new leading university after him, which is obviously an amazing honor. Dr. Fabrizio, how are you?
It's so funny, Bernardo, just listening to you. What most people don't recognize is the fact that I'm just an ordinary person, an ordinary person that wants to serve at a high level. And I still remember, moving from Colombia, South America to the United States and having a difficult journey. I was set back in school a couple of years and also learning a new language. As you know, many of you that are listening probably can recognize that going into a new environment, whether it's a cultural change, a professional change, a career change, it's not easy, but it's extremely rewarding when you have a mission that's bigger than you. And as I look back, really what has been a great savior for me is to not define myself, not judge myself for where I was at the time, but to actually allow myself to understand that was just a moment in time, that I was destined to do something great. And when you measure yourself and judge yourself for the greatness that you have within you, it gets you out of that comfort zone and it allows you to say yes more than no. And that's one of the things that I'm very grateful for.
Well, listen, I had the pleasure I spoke to Dr. Fabrizio. We did the interview a couple of weeks ago for the Spanish version of the podcast. We discussed quite a few things then, but I've got to say, you and I think I said it then, and if not, I will say again, you walk your talk. I'm saying because Dr. Fabrizio not only is Dr. Fab, he is Fab. I mean, look at the man. He looks like he started when he was like 5. I mean, he's walking his talk. He's looking healthy, looking good. And you've done a lot of things in a relatively short period of time. And I think it's one of those things I've experienced that myself. There's a moment in life when you do look back sometimes. You know what? I've actually done a few things, and you definitely have. And I know obviously what it meant for you leaving your country originally and coming into the US, not speaking the language. We're both son of immigrants. We're both immigrants in a way, and I think we both admire, how hardworking, immigrants are and the challenges they have to go through. But share with us some of your experiences of moving into the US and obviously not speaking the language and just trying to nod your head and say yes to everything.
Well, it's interesting because we're 5 boys and my mom and father, we moved to the United States during a very difficult time where my father was going through alcoholism and we were very concerned about him, especially my mother. with 5 boys and a father that was really unreliable. We moved to the United States, and thank God that my father decided to go into a treatment center. And after 6 months of treatment, he never drank again. And he was able to be happy and be nurturing as a father. He was always a great father. But he, as you know, anytime you have an addiction, it just limits your potential in any area of your life, especially being a father or mother to your children. So I remember one of my first recollections is the fact that they sat us down the first week that we moved to the United States, and they taught us 3 things, Bernardo, that today I still think that they were some of my greatest foundational lessons. This is where my personal development journey really began. And the first thing they said is, you have to look for opportunity every day. No matter who you are in life, what your circumstances may be, you have to understand that there's opportunity always in front of you. You know, we're living right now in very difficult times, but most people will tell you this will be the greatest opportunities that will be revealed to us for the people that seek them out, that choose to participate. The second thing is that they said, you know, whenever you find that opportunity, you're going to find that the majority of the people in your life will try to talk you out of it. And that's something that I learned in my life, Bernardo, very clearly. I've always been the youngest in everything I've done because I don't listen to people my age. I don't listen to the people necessarily that I grew up with. I listen to the people that see potential in me, people that have already accomplished the things that I want to do. And that's why I can get out of my comfort zone and say, you know what? Yes, I can hardly write, but I want to write a book. And I did. My first book was Chicken Soup for the Chiropractic Soul. And we sold over 400,000 copies in less than 2 years. Never sold it in a bookstore, never sold it online, only sold it in my seminars that I did 7 seminars a year for 2 years. So in 14 seminars, we sold over 400,000 copies. And so anyone can write a book if you really understand the message of the book and what you want to do. And the third thing that they told us is once you realize that you have an opportunity and that you're the person to do it, you have to take action. You have to act, because right now there's a lot of people that have great dreams within themselves, but they will never do anything about it. And they will die with that dream inside of them. And that's why experts say that the cemetery is the place in the world that has the greatest treasure. It's not Le Louvre, it's not a museum, it's not a church, it's not any reserve bank in the world. It's actually the cemetery, because so many people have died with their dreams inside of you to become influencers, to maybe create cures to some of our biggest illnesses, or maybe create disruptors, you know, like Facebook and others that have changed the way that we do things today. So those are the 3 lessons that still today I think about every single day. From the moment we moved here in 1978, I was 13 years old, and I still remember my parents looking at us and saying, you're going to do great things. You were meant for great things. And in this country, you can do anything that you can dream about.
Well, that's amazing, Fab. And I think we also, I find, you know, it's fascinating, obviously, you know, the success of your book. You know, a lot of people spend their lives, and it's a very challenging and difficult industry out there to get a book published, but to do as well as you did and the way you did it is phenomenal. I want to talk a little bit more about the book, but so you went on your journey of health and chiropractor and becoming a doctor, where you're obviously trying to help individuals, and obviously you did, and you have vast experience in many different ways, you know, around nutrition and health and everything else. So explain to me a little bit more about that and what got you on that journey, and then I want to explore how you then decided to, you know, jump onto trying to reach more people.
You know, I was very blessed. When I was 16 years old, I was involved in a robbery in Colombia that almost killed me. And during that time, after I went through that experience, and I realized that life is very short, that you have to really live in the moment and don't waste any moment. Don't waste a moment to do what you're passionate about doing. Don't waste a moment to love passionately the people in your life. And I had a dream after I came back from that trip 2 weeks later that I was going to be a doctor. I just didn't know what doctor I was going to be. So I went to my advisor and I decided to enroll in pre-medicine. So I got accepted at one of the most prestigious schools in the country. It's called the University of Dallas. That's what brought me to Texas. And it was a program that they only took 27 kids in the whole United States. And if you made it through their program, you could go to any medical school that you wanted to. And I was very blessed that I was accepted at Harvard and Johns Hopkins because I was going to be a medical doctor. And then during that time, before I finished school, I got involved in a car accident and I ended up in the hospital. And the orthopedic surgeon that I had worked with in that hospital told me that I should go see a chiropractor, a doctor of chiropractic. And the difference between chiropractic and traditional medicine is that chiropractor is the most holistic, most revered doctor in the holistic world. So they introduced me to what is called natural health. And they taught me how to take care of my body, how to take care of my spine, how to get adjusted on a regular basis so my nervous system was functioning properly, how to prevent disease rather than to manage symptoms. And after I went through that experience and I felt the healthiest that I've ever been, I made a decision not to go to medical school, but to go to chiropractic school. And I went through chiropractic school. Then I was fascinated with acupuncture. I became an acupuncturist and then a nutritionist and then energy medicine. And in the holistic world of health, I have made a lot of contributions over the last 30 years because every day I think about the health of humanity. And what I realize is that the 80% of the illnesses that are really struggling, where more people struggle and that are killing us, are preventable by simply changing our lifestyle choices. So then I became a healthy media expert and I started doing television and radio and writing books about it and doing podcasts and doing radio shows. And so to me, the transition was that traditional medicine is great for urgencies. If you're in an accident, if you're dealing with a very severe illness that needs medical attention. But over 80% of the things we deal with, almost 90%, are not urgent conditions. They're conditions like diabetes that can be prevented by changing our nutrition. There are conditions like arthritis that can be prevented. There are conditions that many cancers can be prevented today. Heart disease can be prevented by simply changing lifestyle. So then I became a lifestyle expert and I started teaching people in English and in Spanish how to live their lives in a more healthy way, how to put health as a priority, and how to make it fun for themselves so they can not only look younger, but feel younger. And that's where I've been for the last almost 32 years of my life.
It is said that we live in a world our questions create. And it's true. Those that have succeeded in life, those that stand out, those that have made a difference, those that are inventing, those that are exploring, pushing the boundaries of reality are based on those that have asked themselves empowering questions. In my new book, The Question, Find Your True Purpose, I help you find your true purpose, find your legacy. For more information, go to www.thequestion.co. If you're interested in working with me, contributing, speaking at any of our many events, partnering or licensing The Best You, for more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.
Well, that's amazing, Fab, because I mean, the vast experience that you have is amazing. It's commendable. You know, there's so many people that I think, and I get it. You know, within the personal professional growth industry, there's all sorts of people with, you know, a lot of different backgrounds. I was in real estate, you know, so how does one end in this, you know? But I think you obviously have that vast expertise that is needed. But regarding, and I know we discussed this last time, with the pressures of obviously life and you know the challenges we've got now with the pandemic and unemployment and everything else, people really underestimate the importance of the right mindset. Apart from obviously the nutrition aspect of it, you know, of eating well, taking care of yourself, exercising and meditating. And I'm sure, you know, being as holistic as you are and exploring so much, you know, spiritually as well, what is, you know, health. What's the best advice? What are the best things that people should be looking out for or doing or making sure that they bring into their lives?
You know, it's what Albert Einstein had a quote that really changed my mind. And that is that your circumstances do not define the person. It is the way you respond to it. So right now we've had a universal timeout. And I call it a universal timeout because we were out of control. Humanity was out of control. We're not taking care of ourselves. We're not taking care of our relationships. We're not taking care of our business and our economies. We're not taking care of our environments. We're just going, being very busy. But in reality, this time out, this pause that we've had has been probably one of the greatest gifts for individuals that do not want to be victims, individuals that want to take this opportunity to say, you know what, am I doing what I love to do? Studies have shown that over 70% of the people do not like where they work and they are not doing what they went to school to do. They're not passionate about what they're doing. So maybe this is a time for you to rethink, because maybe that opportunity, that job is no longer there. So are you going to complain about it? Are you going to be upset about it? Or are you going to realize it's the greatest gift that you've been given to be able to come up with what is it that you want to do now? How is it that you want to contribute to others? I teach people that your net worth is directly proportional to the contributions that you give to other people. So whatever your value is for others is how you're going to make money in life. So what is it that you value the most? For me, it was health. It was personal development. Why? Because it made me realize that all of us have great potential. And if it wasn't because I went to personal development seminars, and I started reading some of the greatest books in personal development since in my teens, I would not be the person that I am, because I found potential in other people's writings, in lectures. And now we have YouTubes and many programs out there like your programs that is constant information that makes you a better person. So that's the first thing that I would say is understand that this pause was a gift to you. It wasn't given to you to hurt you. It was given to you to help you understand that you have greater potential than the one that you've been living. So how are you going to now take care of you? How are you going to take care of your health? How are you going to take care of your relationships? And how are you going to take care of your business? Because there's a lot of people out there that had good businesses, and now this completely changed their lifestyle. And now they're appreciating more the clients they had. So they're now being a little bit more sensitive and doing more nurturing than they were before this happened. So when it comes to your business, this could be a great opportunity to also come up with a brand new business. The one thing that I can tell you, Bernardo, during this time is that the people that have multiple streams of income, which thank God somebody taught me that about 9 years ago when I retired my second time, they taught me that we should always have at least 3 incomes, maybe 4. I have 4 income sources right now. And if one source, for whatever reason, gets disrupted, the other ones will support you during that difficult time. But if all of your income is based on one source, you need to really reconsider creating some new business models. Something that you love, something maybe a solution that you figured out when other people are struggling, maybe leveraging technology. Right now, as you know, we're doing this Zoom interview, leveraging technology to be able to bring value to other people. So this to me is something that it starts with your mindset in understanding that this was done for you, not to you. It also continues with your reflection as to what can you do different now during this downtime in order to be able to be stronger than ever whenever we come out as the world into normal. Even though they're calling it the new normal, I believe it's going to be a better normal. I know it is for me, and I know it is for a lot of people out there. And then it continues with your activities, your actions. What are you going to do different today than you did before? Who are you going to be today different than you were before? And understand that your version of today must be the highest version that you ever had, because the world needs you today to function as your better self, not the version of the past, because we can't do anything about what happened. All we can do is how we're going to respond today. Who are we going to be? How are we going to think differently? And also, what are we going to do differently in order to be able to continue our journey in life by contributing high value to other people?
Thank you. Yeah, and we discussed also, the idea, obviously, in order to have a good, strong immune system, it's about eating well, it's about exercising, it's about meditating, and also, stress, it reduces your immune system. So I think a lot of people that are just living in a stressful mindset permanently without meditating and relaxing and kind of like, appreciating and understanding their thought process and what they're thinking, it's going to be challenging for them. I wanted your opinion as a doctor and obviously someone that's well read. Now, a lot of people, and I've been reading, I read a little bit and then I just focus on work, okay? But I want to stay informed, which is some of the advice I try to give to people as well. What's your thoughts regarding kind of, where are we going? Are we expecting a big second wave? Do we think that it's just literally about making the immune system of the healthy individuals, better, stronger, to be able to kind of pass it on to each other? Give me a little bit more on, I want to ask your expertise.
Thank you for that question. And I believe that for the last 32 years, I've been prepared for this moment in my life. And also over the last couple of months, I've interviewed some of my friends that are some of the leading healthcare providers in the world, from medicine to research, etc. And this is where I boiled it down to. Number one is, this is a virus. So understand that the difference between virus and bacteria is that when we created penicillin to kill bacteria, it's because bacteria doesn't change. Once you figure out the formula, you can actually kill it. That's why penicillin is still one of the greatest inventions that we've ever had. Even though I particularly don't do antibiotics unless it's absolutely urgent, because your body has the ability to fight bacteria and viruses as long as you build that immune system to be strong. But the difference between the virus and the bacteria is that a virus changes. So it doesn't stay the same. Now, we have many viruses, including the coronavirus, within us. We've known about the coronavirus even before all of this happened. But all of a sudden, this coronavirus took a different light because it began to threaten the lives of people that had immune systems that were suppressed, which typically tends to be elderly people, typically 68, 70 years old and above, which are the majority of the deaths, as you know, has been in the elderly, or individuals that have suffered either with cancer or stroke or something that compromised their immune system. They've had immune problems for a long time. They become a little bit more susceptible. But the challenge that I'm having with this whole component is that right now, there are many deaths, like the flu has thousands of deaths every year, just the flu, the normal flu. And you have other things like pneumonia that kill a lot of people every year, naturally. And you have other things like cancer and other things that kill a lot of people. The problem right now is that all of these deaths, if for whatever reason they happen to have the coronavirus test positive, they're being attributed to the coronavirus killing them. And that is not so. And that is a real big problem that I'm having, because as we've seen the corona deaths go up, we've seen the other deaths that were normal deaths every year that we don't brag about or talk about on the news like we're talking about this, lower. So that means that it's not really comparing apples to apples, in my opinion. The idea of a vaccine to be the answer, there's so many people out there saying, I'm not going back to work, I'm not going back to reality until I have a vaccine. Understand that a vaccine, because it's a virus, is not going to be what you're thinking it's going to be. It's not going to be, experts are telling us right now, it's not going to be the answer that anybody that gets vaccinated is not going to contract the virus or is going to be protected with the virus. Yes, it may give you some immune factor because they have to inject that virus in your body for your body to build antibodies to the body. Well, your body's building antibodies no matter what, because we're exposed to viruses every single day. So the answer is very simple, and it hasn't changed all over the years, is that for you to be able to feel confident about being able to live every day without that fear, am I going to contract the virus? Is this virus going to kill me? Is to build your health, is to actually do all the things we know what to do to be able to build your health. I know we're talking about the immune system as one of the most important systems, and it is. So what are some of the basic things you can do for your immune systems? You have to be able to keep moving, exercise. Exercise is one of the best things to build our immune system. So you want to sweat for at least 30 minutes a day. It's one of the very simple things. I do interval exercise. So I go 2 minutes hard, 2 minutes rest. 2 minutes hard, 2 minute rest. And you can do that for 15 to 30 minutes. And if you just do that, not only are you going to look great because it's going to help you lose a lot of that excess weight, but it's going to help you build your immune system. The other thing is to drink a lot of water, because when your body's hydrated, you also tend to have a better immune system. The other thing is to get out on the sun or do supplements with vitamin D. Vitamin D is essential for your immune system. The other one is to add some omegas in your diet as supplements, or begin to eat more salmon, more fish, more of the foods that have high content in omegas. That's going to help you also a great deal. Also, vitamin C. I've been taking 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C on a regular day, every day, because we know that vitamin C has been probably one of the most effective ways to help anybody that contracted the coronavirus. So you do what they call high doses of vitamin C to help your immune system be built. So these are the things that you can do right now to be able to feel confident that your body is healthy, that even if you come exposed to the coronavirus, because no matter how many times you wash your hands, no matter when you start going out there to the grocery store and others, you're going to be exposed to something. It could be the coronavirus, it could be other viruses. But if you have a healthy immune system, you're going to feel much better that your body can handle it. And that's really the recommendation that I'm giving to people. Don't be looking for a solution that is going to be outside in. Look for solutions that are inside out, because they're the only ones that you can control. So lower your stress level so you can sleep better. Make sure that you are sleeping at 8 hours a day, because when you don't sleep, it increases your cortisol levels, which lowers your immune response. So that's not healthy. So you have to find ways to sleep and try to keep I do meditations before I go to sleep, and they put me in a very relaxed state. So then I go right into my deep sleep, and I sleep really, really good throughout the night.
To find out about my latest projects, get a free coaching lesson, or download my book, go to www.bernardo-moya.com.
Well, that's perfect and great advice. Thank you. And a lot of the times people are looking for complicated solutions, but that is it. It is simple to a degree. And I think with everything in life, I think the challenge that we've had globally has been the lack of communication. I think the lack of providing people with, great advice and simple advice and things that they can do, because, everyone's concerned about the economy, but, I think a lot of us are very concerned about the impact it's going to have in people's mental health and anxieties and stress. And, and you're seeing people that are very healthy, in their mid-20s or 30s that, they just don't go out. They've been stuck in for a couple of months and, we have to get back to normal. We have to, and there's people that can deal with it better. So communication, advice, but thank you so much, Dr. Fab. That's been great. So I know you're working on some very exciting projects, and you've got your recent book and you're working on some online content, apart from obviously all the other things you do on TV. What's keeping you excited now? What are you currently involved in that's got you really, motivated? Because, we love what we do, and obviously you do too as well.
Well, it's interesting, Bernardo, because I've been impacted by this like everybody else. So 1/4 of my income comes from public speaking. I've been doing public speaking for 30 years, and I charge a lot of money to public speak. And I do about 70 lectures a year. And I've been doing that consistently year by year by choice. And I love it. But that income went completely away overnight, because all of the events, most of my events are large events. So they were closed until right now. I have maybe 2 events that are still thinking about doing it. But from now until December, pretty much everything got canceled. So what did I do? I started thinking about my other companies, what are more virtual companies. So I started putting together some online programs. So I reach about 5 million people every week through my television shows, my podcasts, and my radio shows. And now I have an ability to allow those people to go have a relationship with me a little deeper, whether it's they want to build their personal development, whether they want to build their health, and they can do it online. So that's one of the things that I did. I also have another company where I mentor people, and I mentor CEOs and high-level people that want to have more influence, that want to live a better life, et cetera. And I decided to expand that program and be able to create a virtual component to that program that I didn't have before. So it was all live. And now that's going to be released next week, which will give a lot of people an opportunity to mentor with me, which will be partially virtually, partially on the phone like this, through Zoom and other things. And that's going to be a great opportunity. I just wrote my 5th book on personal development. So I've written 4 books before. The 4 books that I've done before were all on health. So I'm very well known from the component of try to help people live a healthier lifestyle. But this is personal development. This is the best lessons of 35 years of what I personally have done and many of my influential friends have done in order to have the most potential in your life and the most contribution and success in other people's life. So that book is actually being sold right now in New York, and it will probably come out at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. So I'm very excited about that project because every time I write a new book, as you said before, it's like having a baby. You work for it for my books. Usually I work on it for a couple of years. This book is really a 32-year or 35-year in the making book because I've had all these notes, but I just was doing so well in the health field that I realized that I should stay there. But I realized that without the mindset behind the activity of health behavior, you're not going to be as successful in your health anyways. So now it's time for me to not only lecture about personal development, but actually start writing about it. And I came up with concepts that people can identify where they are, what are their weaknesses, in very simple assessments and indexes that I created to help people really develop the lifestyle that they want and be able not to be, in a position that they're miserable because they're working for money, rather than to really work for the joy of abundance and contribution, which is the way that you and I operate under. So that's very exciting also. And then I have a couple of TV shows that are actually in the works of being developed, where I will have not only be a guest in all the biggest shows in America and around the world, but also I'll have my own show where I'll be able to impact people directly, where now they get to develop a deeper relationship with me, and I will bring them the best experts in the world to help them with their problems. So these are all very exciting. So I just couldn't be more excited, and I've been the busiest that I've been in the last 8 years. And like I told you before, whenever you have need in the world, whenever there's challenge, whenever there are problems, is when the real people, the real leaders show up. And right now, just think about where can you help others and begin to figure out a way, a model, a business model to monetize that and be able to create maybe a new business or a new company or a new offering that would allow people to now benefit from what you have spent your life doing. So that's really what I've done, what many other people are doing, and one of the best ways that I want to help people through this very difficult time.
Well, I've got to say, congratulations! What an amazing career! The amazing contacts and connections you have. How generous you are with your time and connecting all of us together. We're very excited that Dr. Fab is going to be speaking at our virtual expos now. So that's going to be one that we've got scheduled in in a month's time in LA, one in Dallas, and even in London. But we're also scheduling maybe doing it for the Spanish-speaking market. So we're both very excited about that too. So Fab, we're very excited to have you there. When you speak at the expo, what are you going to be talking about? What are you going to be sharing so people can tune in?
Right now, I think it's important to really understand what are the best behaviors and mindsets to respond to this difficult time. Some people are calling it the new normal. I really believe that the new normal can be the best normal for yourself. So I'm going to be sharing over 30 years of research of what are the thought processes and behaviors that will allow you to become the better version of yourself, that would allow you to become your best you, but that also would allow you to leave a legacy, to contribute to the lives of others. Because let me tell you, there's nothing more fulfilling than when your life has significance in the lives of many. So whatever you want to do, I'm going to share with you formulas. I'm going to share with you step by step, very simple. As you know, Bernardo, I believe things should be fun, but also simple. Otherwise, they're not sustainable. And I'm going to share with you very simple formulas of how you can begin to transform your life into a better life. So that way you can truly live the life of your dreams. Because that, to me, everybody's deserving of that. Some people have been told that they will never accomplish what they set out to do. I'm here to tell you, do not listen to those individuals. if I would have listened to the majority of the people that told me that I will never be a doctor, and I became a very celebrated doctor, that I will never be an author, that I will never be a speaker, that I will never be a president of a university, where I was the youngest president in the whole United States of any college or university at the time at 33 years old. That's almost unheard of, But what I believe is, if something comes into my mind, an opportunity shows up, then I know that's for me. That's for me to execute. And that's what I want to be sharing with you. How to recognize those opportunities, but how to make decisions to execute them and not allow other people to rob you from your destiny.
Absolutely. And that's one of my most famous hashtags, which I love. Hashtag no negativity. Sometimes you've got to get rid of negative people. It's good for you. And it's quicker than actually trying to change them. But I also believe very deeply in what you're saying. Personal professional growth is about leaving a legacy, leaving something behind. So we have to spend some time in exploring that before it's too late. So Dr. Fab, thank you so much. Very excited to have spoken to you again. Looking forward to connecting with you shortly at the expos. So thank you for your time and for your wisdom.
Thank you, Bernardo. Thank you for all you do for all of us.
Thank you so much.
For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.